Hello everyone, this is Yvonne. Let me talk about my mid-course portfolio presentation. First, let's see the content. I divided my presentation into three parts, which is the reason why I choose my LDGs, works and the reflections that I use to show my engagement, and the future learning. Moving to the first part, rationale. It means the reason why I choose listening, speaking, and writing as my learning development goals. In terms of the listening, the objective reason is that listening is the most direct way to absorb the classroom approach. As we all know that lectures are a common method of delivery in higher education in enabling ideas and information to be conveyed to large groups of students. University usually give a general overview of a topic, including the key ideas, principles, and issues, and offer recommendations for further reading and research. Another reason is subjective, since I didn't get good grades of listening in the IELTS exams, and I knew that listening is a challenge for me. So in this pre-sessional class, I invest a lot of energy in it. The next goal is speaking. Speaking is an ability to acquire knowledge more actively than listening. At the same time, speaking for me is more skilled than listening and writing. However, how to express myself precisely and convey the information is a challenge for me before the language class. Therefore, I want to learn more useful speaking method in the language class. The third one is writing. It is a process of active output, which from listening or reading. I have to say that the assessment of graduate students is mainly conducted in the form of thesis. So this early exposure to how to standardize the writing and critical thinking is beneficial to me. Now, I'd like to show you what I have done and the works that I use to show my engagement. First one is listening. In week 2, according to the self-assessment form, I choose the listening skills to practice. In the week 2 and 3, the listening text materials based on the recording to answer the following questions. These pieces of work made me realize the significance of organizing and connecting ideas logically. Compared to my previous listening, effective listening contributes to fewer errors, less wasted time. During the 3 weeks of practice, I also found some problems. In listening practice, I often could not concentrate on listening to all the contents completely, and I could not understand some complex sentences or long sentences. Sometimes some information is missed because the speed of speech is too fast. In the end, it was mostly dependent on transcripts and the slides. After the communication and discussion with the tutor, I think that there are two main reasons. First, I'm not familiar with the pronunciation of some words, which affects the comprehension of sentences. Second, the speakers in some lectures speak at a fast speed and link, which also increases the difficulty for me to understand sentences. So I realized that I need to adjust my listening training. So in week 5, I focused on imitating training. We can see the photo I showed in the slides include word pronunciation, and some highlighted contents are the words I need to pay attention to linking. After 3 weeks of practice, the tutor's feedback reminds me of the need for appropriate adjustments to meet new challenges. I also realized that it took a long time for this kind of basic practice to improve my ability, so I continue to plan the next part of listening. The above is the main work content of my 5 weeks of listening. The next part I will describe the writing task. I will mainly analyze and evaluate the writing from the 2nd week to the 5th week. The main task of the second and third week of writing is write summaries. According to the feedback of my classmates and tutors, I revised them respectively. However, I still need to pay attention to some problems in the 2 weeks improvement. The most important thing is to directly use the words in the article materials rather than describe with my own words. Secondly, there are some problems of sentence patterns. So in the fourth and fifth week, I pay extra attention to the problems of them. And I gained progress from the tutor's feedback problems. Direct repeat their views are in the ending without any details, simple and clear. In the main body also avoids the direct use of original sentence, but according to the own understanding to rewrite. The writing content is the tutor's feedback that I have received the most. The materials in class have given me a deeper understanding of writing. So that is 5 weeks of writing. The last part is about speaking. As I mentioned before, speaking involves all aspects of me, which makes me better at listening and writing. However, I still choose it as my main learning goal in the 5 weeks in order to learn a more effective and efficient way to speak precisely. It is a recording based on BBC Ideas original reading. I added my own reflections and thoughts on those topics. This gives me the chance to listen to my English speaking skills. It also gives me a better idea of what my strengths are and which areas need more work. The tutor's feedback reminds me of in my recordings was that it was so fast. When we read that so fast, there is a higher probability of us making mistakes in pronunciation. For this reason, I found it is a little bit difficult to follow. In the first 2 weeks, I was not familiar with the environment. The goal was not clear enough, and I didn't carry out targeted tasks on trainings. Thanks to the tutor's patient explanation, I went on the right track in the second week. From the third week to the fifth week, I found the right direction. The tutors gave me positive comments and encouraged me to provide more details about the problems I encountered in my study. In the future learning, every week I will listen to TED Talks and try to fully comprehend the practical content of a speaker's message. In the writing tasks, I will break down the text into smaller divisions that point to the common topic. Then start by jotting down the sentences from each paragraph or section that supports the main sense of the text. I will also highlight the key ideas that elaborate on the main ideas of the subject matter. This is the end of my presentation. Once again, I would like to thank you for the opportunity for talking to you on the subject. I hope you will give me some comments and suggestions that will help me improve my portfolio. Thank you so much for listening.